Hey everybody, welcome to Planetary Awareness. I'm Dave Mascatello, and I'm here with my good friend Chris Kendall.
What's up, guys?
With the Raw Advantage. I am on Chris's retreat here, and it's been an absolute blast. We've gone to the beach, 3 times?
Yep, 3 times.
We've gone to waterfalls, hikes, just enjoying nature and eating the best raw food on the planet.
Loving it.
And I've learned so much about raw foods and just the whole lifestyle, and it's just been absolutely amazing. Right now I feel super calm, no anxiety, just relaxed in nature, just chilling and just living on high vibrations.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. I always think, fruit, vegetables are Mother Nature's love. All the pranas put together for us, for our nourishment, for our enjoyment, and they're cruelty-free and amazing and delicious. Fill yourself up.
Yeah, I mean, we're about to have a raw pizza, and we had raw cinnamon buns, and I mean, just, it's so delicious and amazing how you can just eat raw food and not have to alter it or cook it,
Well, you can though, right? We can make pizza. We can alter the hell out
of
it.
Yeah, you can alter it and
you can just eat
and
mangoes like this, right?
You don't have to cook it to extreme temperatures.
True that.
So, I mean, what is the difference there when you're like not cooking it? I mean, is there more enzymes? Is there more nutrition?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you cook food, there's chemical changes that happen that can't be reversed and have results that you can't avoid, right? Proteins are denatured, which means that not only are they not utilizable by the body, but they're seen as foreign invaders, and the body has to get them out, which causes a rise in blood pressure, and basically acts almost like a virus or like a foreign invaders coming in and flushes it out. Carbohydrates become caramelized. Fats can become rancidified, right? So there's these chemical changes that happen. Certain nutrients become less bioavailable. Some may become more bioavailable. You might hear like lycopene or something like that. But for any one nutrient that becomes more bioavailable, dozens, if not more than that, are becoming less and less bioavailable. So, certain foods, they kind of need to be cooked to be really easily digestible.
Sure.
But the number one best foods for us are those foods that we don't need to alter in any way. We can eat as a meal, feel really satisfied, really enjoy, and digest easily,
Yeah.
And that comes back to fruits and young tender greens, We can play around, but when we're talking about human-based nutrition, what we grew up as a species on, we're looking at fruits and young tender greens and a variety of other stuff, but that's the mainstay. They're the most nutritious per calorie and easiest to digest food, so it just leaves you so much energy for other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I'm taking away from this is to just incorporate at least 1 or 2 raw meals a day.
Huge.
Because I know that feeling of when I've done like 3 or 4 cooked meals in a day, and like it can be really heavy and I feel kind of sluggish.
Yeah.
But I notice when I eat light, I just eat salads and fruits, I just feel much more relaxed. And
absolutely. It's funny because a lot of times people think that fruit-based raw food can be spacey, or like airy, and they say like, not grounded. But what I find is when one actually comes to understand caloric density versus volume density and starts to eat enough fruits and vegetables to be satiated, which we've been providing in abundance, right? We're living in abundance here. We're like, no restriction. Eat as much fruits and vegetables as you want.
You don't want to just wake up and eat 2 bananas and not eat for hours later.
Exactly. Then you're going to become spacey because you're not getting enough blood sugar. But if you're actually eating enough, I mean, talk about grounded. These trees are going deep into the earth, providing up all these nutrients and the water, and baked by the sun. It's everything in one. And yeah, I find some of the most grounded people I know are living on a fruit-based diet. And it stands to reason. You're getting an abundance of mineralization. You're not getting the acidification. And so it just calms you down, especially after a salad. You eat a big salad, and that's going to calm you, mellow you even more because you're getting that alkaline mineral density.
Would you say that people who aren't used to eating raw, maybe it takes a little while for their body to adjust, and then when it does, when the shift occurs, then they're just like, wow, like this is incredible. But first maybe they go through some detoxification.
Absolutely.
Their bodies, their enzymes are changing.
Yeah, I mean, you can go as fast or slow as you like. I mean, if you're the type of person that just dives right into the pool, you might want to go quicker. If you like to just stick your toe in it and swish it around and slowly get in and get out, then get in and get out, you know? You might want to go slower. It's going to be a little bit more of a intensely bumpy ride if you go really quick, but it's going to be a little bit longer of a bumpy ride if you go slow, because we're all detoxing at some rate all the time. And if all of a sudden we lighten our digestive load and provide all of the nutrients and foodstuffs to allow our body to detox at a more rapid, steady pace, you're going to have symptoms. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it unless you've been living a clean lifestyle for a long time. And that's what some people do. I mean, 18, 19 years ago, I started eating fruit for breakfast. That was the big thing, fruit for breakfast. I've had two sick days since then, 18 years.
Wow.
I also went towards vegetarianism, started then going towards whole food, then to vegan, and then 14 years ago went 100% raw. And by the time I went raw, I'd already gone through a lot of the detox. So for me, it was like jet fuel. I got on raw food and I was just like, bing, feeling so amazing. So, there's no right or wrong way. It just comes with the foreknowledge that there is going to be some detox and that it's not a race, and to go at a pace that you feel comfortable with, so that you're not just throwing yourself out of whack and pulling your hair out.
Yeah.
And if you want to pull your hair out, you can do that too, but just be aware of it.
That's what happened.
That's what happened. So. I mean, you go too fast, this is what happens.
Yeah. Would you say that eating raw, like for breakfast and lunch, is a good move, as opposed to eating cooked prior? Like, do you want to eat like
absolutely
light the dense throughout the day kind of deal?
Absolutely. Starting with the highest water content foods, they're going to digest the fastest, and then going to more dense. So a lot of people like to have breakfast, and it could even start just with having, like a big fruit meal for breakfast, and then maybe a little bit of fruit and a big salad for lunch, and then have salad and a big, maybe some squash or some sweet potato or rice and steamed vegetables for dinner. Something like that. You're really streamlining your digestion so that nothing gets backed up. Because if you have a giant, like sweet potato and some other stuff and maybe some avocado at lunch, and then 5 hours later you're having the fruit meal, it's possible that other stuff could be still digesting in your stomach. You put the sugar on top of this damp, dark environment, and it just ferments, and you don't get the same benefits, right?
Yeah.
So most people really find eat fruit first and then save the other stuff for the last meal of the day.
Cool. One thing that blew me away was you could like eat lentils raw just by sprouting them, as well as like wild rice and even like oatmeal.
Yeah.
And when people think about raw, they're usually like, oh, it's like nothing but fruit and like some vegetables.
Carrots all day.
But you can do like the stuff that we usually cook too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and you want to be careful. You do want to do research, because there are certain ones that you can't. Like, for example, do not sprout kidney beans and try and eat them raw. You'll get very sick and end up in the hospital. But certain ones like, lentils and the young tender greens like alfalfa and broccoli and clover and stuff like that. A lot of people sprout mung beans, of course. You can sprout soybeans, garbanzo in smaller quantities, but yeah, and you can get like whole wheat or oats and stuff like that, and do different types of live breads and stuff like that.
Just soak them overnight, or even like lemon juice too, right? You can do a lot with that.
You can do a lot with lemon juice to kind of chemically cook, right? So that's when you take like kale and you put lemon juice on it, and you massage it, and it actually softens it. It chemically cooks it. In terms of sprouting, though, you'd want to do that pure water so that the plant gets a chance to actually sprout itself. So you'd soak it overnight, typically, depending on the size and what you're doing, and then let it either sit in a colander or a jar with a mesh on top of it, or a nut milk bag hanging, and just rinse it usually twice a day. Anywhere from 12 to 36 hours, depending upon what you're sprouting and how long of a tail you want.
Okay.
It's fun. You can create so many different things,
Yeah. Wow. So one thing, the dehydrator is like a huge part of what you do, to kind of like give it a better texture when you're eating raw. So can you explain the viewers out there like kind of how that works, and what is really the temperature gauge on what constitutes raw versus cooked? And some people will say, hey, that's cooked. And what really is the difference when you're looking at that temperature?
Yeah. So in general, I'd always recommend basing your diet around fresh, ripe, raw fruits and vegetables. Dehydrated stuff is kind of like special occasion party food.
Okay, I guess we're on this raw, like, gourmet retreat,
Yes,
so we're getting spoiled.
We're getting spoiled. We're making fancy food like pizza tonight, and last night was Thai, and the night before that was burgers, and usually I'd be doing this maybe once or twice a week, or even once or twice a month, but you want to turn it out at an event to show people what they can do at home for those special occasions, So, and usually too, if you're utilizing the dehydrator, it's a portion of the meal, not the whole meal. Otherwise, it's gonna be pretty heavy. But that said, in terms of dehydration temperature, generally most people agree that between 114 and 118 is a suitable temperature to create the least amount of nutritional damage. A big one is actually enzymatic change.
Oh my God.
So, hell's bells,
We got our friend over here.
Doing the holy moon.
While we're shooting a video.
Yeah. Oh, you missed it. That was a nice ass.
How's it going, Farmer Life family?
He showed us the moon as we're looking at the sun.
I'm getting ready to gaze at the sun, and in order for me to be balanced with this, yes, I'm barefoot grounded on bare earth, but connecting with the moon is also very important.
And hell's bells.
I shall not interrupt you anymore. I love Dave Muscatello, and I love Chris Kendall.
Love you too, Brad.
Oh boy. Well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's
Just gotta roll with the punches and the asses, I guess.
Yeah. So I forgot what we were talking about.
Dehydration.
Okay,
So,
that's right.
yeah, so typically 114 to 118 is pretty agreed upon temperature. There is going to be nutrient damage for sure, and that's why you wouldn't make up the bulk of your diet, but it can be fun to add different textures and tastes, whether that's like wraps or pizza crusts, or you could make a sauce on cauliflowers and make chicken wings, right? Like mock chicken wings, of course.
Yeah.
Dehydrate them. So, there's an opportunity to either dehydrate things right down to crackers or kale chips, or to just soften them in the dehydrator. I like to take mushrooms and just put them in there for like an hour or two, or otherwise you can just put things in and just slightly dehydrate them so they kind of condense and get more flavor rich and texture changes a little bit.
Wow.
So they can be really fun in a raw kitchen.
Sounds like there's many different things you can do with the raw foods diet, or lifestyle, I should say.
Yep.
So I guess we'll close it up by maybe just sharing a little bit about what's the Raw Advantage and what it is that you do.
Awesome.
And you have a YouTube channel as well.
I do, yeah. The Raw Advantage on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Raw Advantage, my website, and on Instagram. Oh my gosh. And on Facebook. Oh gosh. But anyways, yeah, the Raw Advantage is just a space and place where I share the things I'm passionate about, the place that I share the things that have really raised my vibration, have led me to a place of deeper understanding of myself and my mission here on the planet. I'd studied health for like 7 years before I found raw foods, and I was always doing it for my skateboarding. I just wanted to research nutrition so I could chuck my body downstairs and skateboard more and achieve a goal of being a professional. When I went raw food, I had a Satori moment that just opened my heart up like wide, and I just knew from there, literally in the first 24 hours of going raw, that my true calling was to spread this information and to connect with people on a level that, they are awesome, they are loved, they are divine beings, and if you feed yourself Mother Nature's love, it opens you up and turns you on to a different paradigm of living. So that's what I've done for the last 10 years full time, is try to share physical, mental, emotional ways to open yourself up and to connect with source, with nature. I'm a holistic nutritionist by trade. I went to school 11 years ago for this, and I'm going to do it until I can't move anymore.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right on.
I'm gonna be able to move for a long time though. It really helps. Recovery half the time, way more energy, way lighter. It's easy to stay fit and trim. It's awesome.
It's amazing. Even football players are like going vegan, and it just seems to be much more easier to move around. And
Absolutely.
We've gone on hikes and the surfing, and it's kind of like that lifestyle where you have so much energy and it just makes you want to do things.
That's the Raw Advantage. It's the raw edge. It's getting the extra edge on life. It's like you have a raw advantage, and it's not even necessarily just about food, because like we talked about before, it's about your mood and about your emotional body. And when you start freeing that up and becoming raw and real with your emotions and learning how to cope with them in different ways rather than food, it brings you to a whole different level of being and a different
Wow.
understanding of yourself and, you know, how you experience and numb life. So it's a whole kind of whole meal deal, if you may say.
Cool, man. Well, thank you so much. It's been an amazing retreat here with Chris Kendall at the Farm of Life, and I highly suggest it for anybody that's really looking to get into this lifestyle, and or even just, you know, do a detoxification or just try something new and different. It's been awesome. So thanks, brother.
Thank you,
I
man.
appreciate
Much
you.
love to you. Absolutely appreciate you too.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Here we are signing off from the Farm of Life in Costa Rica. You guys have a wonderful day, wonderful evening. Namaste.
Namaste. Oh, and I want to say for my viewers who are watching this on my channel, you
right.
definitely want to check out Dave and his sound healing. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh,
So what do you do here?
totally forgot. So we are doing a sound healing and meditation retreat here in 2019 at the Farm of Life. And yeah, I'm a music promoter, booking agent. My company's called Planetary Music. My YouTube channel is called Planetary Awareness. And yeah, so check that out on the Farm of Life, Finca de Vita website. Retreat coming up next year. And that's it.
Sweet,
So,
man. Thank you.
thanks for remembering that.
No,
we're
of course.
just
Thank you.
we're just here kind of, you know, freestyling this thing and
Love
just flowing with the fruits and the veggies and
That's
having a
it.
great time. So
Kicking the freestyle verses.
for sure. Peace,
guys.
everybody.